Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you all how I do my eyebrows, like how I fill them in, how I go about shaping them, which I actually don't trim the top of my eyebrows. I don't really have to do that. It's mainly just, you know, tweezing out the strays. And I have been trying to grow out my brows. So I've been filling them in a lot different than I used to. And also show you guys my tricks on like how to, you know, kind of hide the fact that you're growing your brows out, but still, you know, let them grow out at the same time. Because it's kind of one of those things, if you over tweeze your brows and you want to grow them out, you almost don't want to because you're afraid that your brows are just going to look a hot mess, which my brows do when they're not filled in, and you will see that here in a second. I mean, I've shown you guys how I do my brows in my Get Ready With Me's, but I thought I would do something a little bit more in depth. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it because I feel like I'm just rambling now. There's several different brands where you can get brow brushes like this. I think e.l.f. has one. I'll just list some cheaper options down below for you all. But honestly, I picked up this Anastasia Beverly Hills brow brush in number 12 because some of those other ones, like the angled brush part, like it's not as thin and precise, and you want a very thin, precise angled brush to do this type of, you know, shaping your brows out, because if it's not really thin and precise, it's hard to get your brows to look right. When it comes to filling in my brows, a lot of times I usually do that after I apply my foundation, but depending on the eye look that I'm doing, sometimes I do it before. So like today I'm gonna do a smoky eye look and I don't wanna do my foundation before. I want to do it after in case I have any eyeshadow fallout. So I'm going to go ahead and fill my brows in now. I do like to use the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomades. I know that there are cheaper alternatives out there. I really haven't used a whole lot of like drugstore brands of like the pomades, so I don't really know what is good to compare with this. So, but these are the ones that I use. But any type of brow pomade that you like, just use that. I know some people aren't like a big fan of these Anastasia brow pomades because they kind of dry out a little fast sometimes, but mine seem to be working fine so far and I've had them for several months. I just brush through my brows and I like to start out with the lighter pomade first and then I go in with a darker one. So the first one that I use is in Blonde, and then I'll just get some of this brow pomade on the brush. It's a little tricky to fill them in. As you can see, like my brow hairs are kind of everywhere right now. So I usually just fill the bottom in first because I find that easier. I just kind of go straight across. And you know, you just need to do whatever's going to work best with your like your eyebrow shape. But this is how I've been filling mine in. And then I'll go on top. I re-dip my brush in the pomade. And then out here, I try to angle it. And I also like to fill my brows in before I pluck out these stray hairs down here. Because since I'm trying to grow my brows out, it's easier to do it once you get the shape of the brows that you want. Because if you do it before, you can't see the shape. So you might pluck your brows out too thin. So that's kind of my tip of what I do, especially when I'm trying to grow my brows out thicker. And then I just re-dipped the brush again, just a little bit. And I'm just going through the brow and filling in the gaps. Which with this blonde shade, it's not going to fill in all the gaps. So that's why I like to go back in with the darker color. And here in the front, I don't fill that part in. I mean, I do have this line down here, which we will blend out at the end. But I don't fill the front part in because you want that part to look lighter. It just tends to make the brows look more natural and gives them like a gradient effect. And then I'm going to do that same technique here on this other eyebrow. And then I'm going to go in with the darker shade, which I use the color Chocolate. This was the color that I used whenever I was a brunette. Then on this step, I don't take it all the way in here. What I do is I kind of start it right about there. and I just, you know, go out to the tail. And then I get a little bit more on the brush and I go up here on top. And I don't go all the way in here. I usually just go to like the top part of the arch, or like that point of the arch, and then back. And then I go in, especially here on the bottom where my brows are really still just growing in and there are a lot of gaps, and just lightly kind of fill that in. And then sometimes I kind of extend the tail just a little. And then I go with the spoolie part. This is key. And then I just kind of brush right in here to try to get rid of that line. I mean, it may faintly still kind of be there, but it's not gonna look bad. It's gonna kind of add a little bit of a shadow and it's gonna look good. But you definitely wanna make sure you kind of brush out the stuff back here so it doesn't look, I don't know, it looks more blended if you do that. Okay, and then I'm gonna do that same technique over here. So to maintain the shape that I'm trying to grow out, I like to fill in my brows first and then pluck out the strays. So that's what I'm gonna do. I do have some strays down here that I don't really need when growing out my brows. I mean, unless you really wanted that super natural brow look, you know, you could skip plucking them, because I know that that's kind of a trend right now to have very, very natural brows. But I like for my brows to look somewhat, you know, neat. So I'm just, you know, plucking out any strays that I can see. And I try not to get too close up there, even though I have some that look like they can be plucked. And then I do get eyebrows here right in the middle, in between my brows. If I didn't pluck these, I would definitely get a unibrow. So I definitely have to pluck these out. I'm not one of those lucky people that don't have a unibrow. So just any stray hair that you see that is not part of what you filled in, just pluck out. And this way you're not gonna over tweeze your eyebrows, and you can still, you know, grow your eyebrows out thicker. And I might not get every single little hair. I just try to get like the major ones that really show up, because I mean, honestly, once I get my eyeshadow on and everything like that, you're not gonna really see a lot of those very much. And then to set my brow hairs in place so they don't move, I like to go in with a tinted brow gel. And the brow gel that I love and use all the time is my Benefit Gimme Brow. I know the Essence Make Me Brow is a really good dupe to this, and I keep telling you guys I need to go and pick that one up, but Essence is not very accessible for me, so it's kind of hard for me to get that product, but that is definitely a really good dupe to this Benefit Gimme Brow, so I highly recommend that. And the shade that I use in this is in shade 1, which is the lightest one, like for blondes. So I usually wipe the excess of this product off in the lid, and then I just brush my brows up here in the front. This product also too is gonna make your brows look a little thicker, and it just makes everything come together. Like, I don't know if you can see the difference between this brow and this one, but I feel like it does make a difference. If I, by chance, you know, kind of got down a little too far, or if the shape looks a little off, I like to go in with concealer. And I'm also going to use this concealer today as my eyeshadow primer. This is just the Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in the shade Fair Neutral. So, and actually it might be better to go in, I usually go in with a smaller concealer brush. Let me see if I can find it. I like to normally go in with like this Wet n Wild small concealer brush. It's really good for getting very precise up underneath your brows. So, kind of dabbing off the excess of that concealer. But then I'm just gonna kind of look at this other eyebrow and try to kind of even them up. Your brows are not going to be identical. I mean, some people's brows are. If you're blessed and lucky, that's great, but and then I just kind of blend that down like that. And then that kind of gives you like a brow highlight as well. So I'm just gonna do this to the other side, even though I don't necessarily have any like stuff I need to clean up. I just wanna make it even. And I definitely put way too much of it down. So I'm just kind of dabbing off the excess there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do my makeup. I'll link my eyeshadow tutorial that I'm gonna be doing down below in case you want to try to recreate that eyeshadow look too. But that's basically what I do to fill in my brows lately. This is my new brow routine for growing out eyebrows. So yeah, let me go ahead and finish my makeup and I will come back. I hope maybe this helped any of you guys out there that maybe are having trouble growing out your brows, but you know, want to still fill them in where they look good. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye-bye. Mwah.